I've got some paint stripping to do. It's a door frame. I've done one side, the paint was kind of flaking off, so just using a scraper, it took a few hours and it was tedious. So I had enough of that. I've got some paint stripper, like the gel stuff. Did half of it with that, but that took a couple of days, just putting the stuff on and then cling filming it and then peeling it off, and it's meant to do multiple layers. No, I wasn't doing that, so you'd have to do it again. I got one of these, it was 45 quid delivered. It's better than a heat gun. Our house is 100 years old, so I don't really want to use a heat gun indoors on it because it's going to be lead, you know. This is probably the first time this stuff's ever been off. So it's a reasonable size, and it should be as simple as plug this in, get our cable free, and then there's just a switch on here, and that'll heat up. So it's as simple as that, apparently. Hold that on, the paint starts bubbling and a little bit of smoke. Yeah, you can feel it getting hot. Right, I won't get it too hot. And then scrape it off. Well, let's go and test this theory on a 100-year-old door frame. So this is the first bit I did, where I was just scraping it. You can see it's not got all of the bits off. This is the bit where I used the chemical, but you can see like it's left a sticky residue on there as well, which you have to keep trying to wash off. That's really annoying. So it takes a couple of coats to get the paint off, and then you still got to clean up afterwards. So I got to about here and gave up and decided, right, let's try something different. While I'm waiting for that to heat up, I'll show you what we're actually doing here. This is my bathroom, and as you can see, it's absolutely shocking. We've tolerated this for, well, way too long now, but there's lots that needs doing in here. We're going to be doing this over the next few weeks, hopefully, in the state of it. This is lime plaster, lava and plaster walls. Yeah, you can see the gap underneath the skirting now. That was all rotted because that pipe was leaking. There was loads of things going on here, but however, this is going to be a bit of a project. I'm going to take that cupboard out, take this bath out, get rid of that, enclose the bath and have a shower, build over the top. And that, I'm going to turn it into an infrared sauna. And allegedly indoors, you only have to hold this on for 10 to 20 seconds, and outdoors 20 to 30 seconds. So let's test that theory. And you're supposed to let the air flow through it. I've got the extractor on, if you can hear that. Just in case any fumes come out. Oh, I can hear that, it's like frying bacon. Well, that's easier. You can see a little bit of smoke come off it. You can hear the paint bubbling. Now, the way this works, apparently, infrared, is rather than warm the surface of the paint and then going in like a heat gun, allegedly it works from heating up the substrate out, if you know what I mean. So it releases the bond between the paint and the substrate. But it's meant to work okay on timber, but not so good on stone. So I'm guessing it dissipates the heat or something. But, you know, I'm not too sure how far away to hold this. There we go, I can hear it sort of bubbling away. Oh, there we go, look at that. Oh, that comes off all right. And we've got these funny architraves, got like this moulding. You can't buy them, so I have to make them. I have to make the whole thing, and it's got like a step at the bottom as well, so this 45-degree chamfer doesn't go all the way down. I thought I was going to be able to save this one, but woodworm, old houses, joys of old houses. So I would say if you're doing this indoors, you probably want to think about having a window open, or the smoke alarm's going to start complaining. There you go. Leave it on a little bit longer. If you can get a bit of smoke coming off it, it seems to like it a bit more. That residue there, but there isn't any on that bit. So far so good, I think. We've got carpet in the bathroom as well. Whose stupid idea was that? Whoever invented that idea should be publicly flogged. But so far so good, I think it's all right. I think it's one of those things you have to get a feel for, but it's the same with the heat gun, you get a feel for how long you want to use it for. There's more smoke than I'd like, but however, with a heat gun it's probably the same. You're just blowing it away from yourself so you wouldn't actually see it. You know what I mean? But what I'll do now is I'll strip all this and try and get a good job done, and then I'll bring you back. That's where I first started, and there's a bit of goo there. Then we came down here, I think, and I've cooked that a little bit. Got a little bit too impatient with it and held it too close for too long, so you can cook it. This bit here isn't too bad, and up here is getting all right. I'm nearly done. Just a few straggly bits to get on, and I've got to get behind this door frame, but I think I've used this enough to kind of form an opinion of it. Overall, I think it's pretty good. It's fairly easy to use. There's no real sort of smoke being pushed everywhere by a fan on the air blower. It's obviously probably cheaper to run. This does get hot, this case, so you do have to be aware of that. There are a couple of things I don't like about it. If you look here, you can't really get right down to the edge, and that's just a physical thing of the gap between there, and that's the element. So there's probably not much you can do about that really, and then you just have to do that with something else, just scrape it or something. And I'm not a fan of this handle. This thing's not massively heavy, but it is heavy. So if you imagine you're holding it like that, you're kind of being levered like that. Now, currently I'm recovering from a trapped nerve, so in my right arm, trying to do up here was quite painful in places, because you've got like the weight of the thing twisting your arm, which is really what you don't want to be doing. So I think I would prefer if the handle was on the back, just sort of, you know, so it's just a rectangle with a handle on it. I think it might be easier to control, but there may be that there's a pattern issue there, because obviously these aren't the only people that make them. Maybe that's why they went down this route. But even with this cranked round, your hand gets close to this, and this is hot, and there's like a rivet there, which is really hot. So it does take some of the load off it, but then you've got to contend with that being quite hot. When you're doing something and you've got the machine upside down, like the top of the door or the underside of the top of the door frame, paint can fall down on this, and it'll just sit there, and literally it'll form like an ember, so it'll burn, and then literally, like I had glowing embers on here. So you've got to be aware of that when you've got this thing upside down. Stuff can be getting trapped on here, and you don't want to empty that onto something and, well, leave it to your imagination. But yeah, just watch out for that. Clean up is easy because it's just dry, flaky paint. I know you get that with an air gun, but with the chemical, it's just a gooey mess that I'm still dealing with now, so I like that. So yeah, there are downsides to it, but it's definitely got a place, I think, in my toolbox. Right, I'll finish this off. Hopefully this has helped. If you're thinking about getting one of these, I would say yes. It definitely does what it says on the tin. Whether it's the best one ever, I don't know, but it's done okay. It's better than scraping it by hand, and it's easier than using that chemical. It's not too stinky. I did make a couple of errors, like I say, a bit too warm there, and then not warm enough there, so it's a bit tacky there, but I'll finish that off. Yeah. Hope this has helped you out. Have a look at my other stuff. I'll see you on the next one.